My beloved child, pause and feel this moment, because heaven has already announced what earth has not yet shown you. Before your eyes see the evidence, before your hands touch the answer, before the door fully opens in front of you, I want your spirit to hear what has already been declared above you. The waiting season is not simply weakening. It is not merely fading. It is not being reconsidered. It is ending by my authority. This is not a soft maybe moving through the air. This is a verdict. This is a holy decision released from the place where my timing cannot be delayed and my word cannot be overruled. The place where you almost gave up has been spoken over. The place where your strength bent low has been marked by mercy. The place where your tears fell quietly, where your faith trembled but did not leave me, has now become the very ground where I am announcing release. Something has shifted in the unseen, my child. Doors have been marked. Angels have been assigned. The delay has received its expiration. What resisted you cannot resist my appointed time. What seemed locked cannot remain closed when I have placed my hand upon the entrance. What felt far away has been summoned into movement, and what looked silent has already begun to answer. I saw the nights when you wondered if I remembered. I saw the prayers that felt as if they rose and disappeared into silence. I saw the moments when you smiled in front of others while your heart was asking, Lord, how much longer? I saw you trying to stay faithful while nothing appeared to move, while no sign confirmed you, while the calendar kept turning and the promise seemed to stand still. Beloved, you were not forgotten in that place. You were being held in a process that heaven understood even when your heart could not explain it. And if this word is touching the hidden room of your waiting season, do not treat it casually. Pause with me here. Like this video, as an act of agreement, subscribe so your spirit can keep receiving prophetic encouragement, and write in the comments, my waiting is ending by God's timing. Let your confession rise before the manifestation arrives. Let your mouth agree with what heaven has already announced. This message is not for casual curiosity. This is for the one who stayed when leaving would have been easier. This is for the one who kept praying after disappointment. This is for the one who still whispered my name with a tired voice and a wounded heart. Hear me now, my child. Heaven has spoken over the place where you almost gave up, and I am inviting you to receive the verdict before you see the evidence. Your waiting is not your identity. Your delay is not your denial. The appointed ending has begun. My child, what you called silence was not absence. What you called distance was not abandonment. What you called delay was not denial. I was working behind the veil with a precision your eyes could not measure and your emotions could not always understand. I was not ignoring the cry that came from your chest in the midnight hour. I was not turning away from the questions you were afraid to speak aloud. I was not sitting still while you were aching. I was building. I was aligning. I was preparing a place strong enough to hold what I promised you. There were moments when you thought nothing was happening because nothing was visible, but heaven was not inactive. The hidden room was full of movement. While you were waiting, I was arranging. While you were crying, I was covering. While you were asking, I was answering in ways you could not yet interpret. While you were looking for one door, I was strengthening the foundation beneath the door that would actually carry your destiny. While you were wondering why I had not moved faster, I was protecting you from receiving something too soon in a place that could not sustain it. Beloved, I did not preserve the promise because I wanted to frustrate you. I preserved it because I loved you too deeply to let it be mishandled by the wrong environment. There were people who could not honor what I was placing on your life. There were platforms that looked open but were unstable beneath the surface. There were opportunities that carried the language of blessing but did not carry my breath. There were counterfeit outcomes dressed in urgency, trying to make you believe that quick meant holy and immediate meant mine. But I stood between you and premature exposure. I closed what you begged me to open because I could see what it would cost you if it opened too soon. Do not despise the doors that did not answer you. Some of them were walls of protection, wearing the appearance of rejection. Some of them were mercy, hidden inside disappointment. Some of them were my hand gently redirecting you before your heart became tied to something too small, too fragile, too polluted, or too dependent on the approval of people who were never assigned to walk with you into the promise. You thought I was withholding. I was preserving. You thought I was delaying. I was designing. You thought you were being forgotten. I was keeping your name covered until the right moment, the right room, the right alignment, and the right grace were ready to receive you. And in that silence, I was not only building around you, I was building within you. I was teaching your spirit to discern what excitement alone could not reveal. I was teaching your heart to recognize my peace above the noise of pressure. I was forming humility in places where pride could have entered unnoticed. I was strengthening spiritual stamina so you would not collapse under the weight of what you once prayed for. I was purifying motives, loosening false attachments, quieting old fears, and removing the need to prove yourself before people who could never validate what only I had the authority to call forth. The waiting did not waste you. Hear me clearly. It did not steal your years. It did not erase your value. It did not make you late. It carved depth into you. It gave you roots. It trained your ear. It softened what needed tenderness and strengthened what needed authority. It taught you how to remain when answers were not immediate, how to worship when emotions were unsteady, how to trust when the evidence was hidden, and how to keep your heart clean when disappointment tried to make you bitter. This is why the silence was sacred. It was not empty space. It was a construction room. It was the place where I built what your eyes could not yet see and formed in you what your future would require. The delay had purpose because what is being released is not ordinary, and you could not carry it with yesterday's capacity. You had to become ready for what I was preserving. And now, my child, the hidden work is beginning to speak. And I want you to know, beloved, that nothing you endured in secret was unseen. Nothing holy that happened in the hidden places was wasted. Nothing you surrendered with trembling hands disappeared into emptiness. Your endurance has been witnessed in rooms you never entered, in courts you could not see, before witnesses you did not know were present. When people overlooked you, I did not. When they misunderstood your silence, I understood your obedience. When they thought you were doing nothing, heaven was recording the weight of your faithfulness. I saw you when you stayed. I saw you when you surrendered. I saw you when you kept your hands clean while your heart was breaking. I saw you choose integrity when compromise offered you a faster road. I saw you forgive without receiving an apology. I saw you bless when your own heart still needed comfort. I saw you pray through disappointment, not with perfect words, but with a spirit that refused to let go of me. I saw you show up wounded. I saw you keep serving tired. I saw you keep believing when believing cost you something. My child, heaven did not miss the quiet obedience. Heaven did not miss the temptation you resisted when no one would have known. Heaven did not miss the tears you wiped away before walking back into responsibility. Heaven did not miss the faithful choice you made under pressure, when your flesh wanted revenge, when fear wanted control, when bitterness wanted a permanent seat in your heart. You thought those moments were small because no one applauded them. But in my presence, they carried weight. In my book, they became testimony. In my hands, they became formation. You were not merely surviving the waiting season. You were being proven in tenderness, strengthened in purity, and prepared in places where performance could not follow you. I was watching how you handled delay when there was no audience. I was watching how you treated people when you were disappointed. I was watching whether your heart would remain soft without immediate answers. I was watching whether you would still call me faithful when the promise seemed silent. Not because I needed to test you cruelly, but because what I am releasing requires a vessel that has learned how to carry blessing without losing intimacy. So hear me clearly. You are not overlooked. You are seen. You are not merely delayed. You are prepared. You are not simply hidden. You are entrusted. Hiddenness was not my way of erasing you. It was my way of sheltering what I was forming in you until it could stand in the open without being shaken by the opinions of men. The world may celebrate visibility, but I celebrate faithfulness. People may reward noise, but I honor purity. People may notice outcomes, but I witness the obedience that happened before the outcome had a name. And this ending of your waiting season is not payment for performance. Do not receive it as wages for exhaustion. Do not think I am blessing you because you finally did enough, cried enough, prayed enough, or proved enough. I am your Father, not a taskmaster. This release is connected to readiness. This turning is connected to formation. This appointed shift is coming because endurance has completed a work in you that speed could never produce. The waiting pressed you, but it did not destroy you. It refined you, but it did not consume you. It emptied you of what could not go forward and filled you with what must now rise. That is why the season can turn now, my child. It can turn without crushing what I built. It can open without exposing what is still fragile. It can release without pulling you back into old striving. Your endurance has finished a hidden assignment. Your obedience has become part of your readiness. Your tears have watered ground you are about to walk on with peace. And now the rooms that witnessed your faithfulness are beginning to echo with my verdict. The one who stayed is ready. The one who surrendered is ready. The one who kept clean hands while carrying a breaking heart is ready for the season to turn. My child, hear the core of what I am saying to you now. The waiting is ending because the appointed time has reached your name, not just the general season, not just the atmosphere around you, not just someone else's testimony passing near your life. Your name has been called inside my timing. Your portion has been summoned by my authority. What I prepared in secret has now reached the moment where it must begin to move toward you. This is not random movement. This is marked movement. This is not coincidence. This is divine appointment. This is not life suddenly becoming easier by accident. This is heaven and earth beginning to agree around what I already decided concerning you. The decision has already moved from the courts of my presence toward the circumstances of your life. It has left the hidden place as a decree, and now it is entering time as manifestation. What was written is beginning to walk. What was sealed is beginning to open. What was assigned is beginning to locate you. Beloved, I do not need confusion to approve my clarity. I do not need delay to give me permission to end delay. I do not need the resistance that troubled you to agree with the release I have commanded. When my appointed time reaches a life, even the things that stood still too long must respond. What was locked begins to open. What was delayed begins to travel. What was resisted begins to yield. What was withheld begins to loosen. What was buried begins to rise with the fragrance of my hand upon it. You have wondered, how will I know the season is turning? And I answer you with tenderness. You will know because peace will begin returning in places where anxiety once ruled. You will know because the weight that once pressed against your chest will begin to lift without you forcing it. You will know because unexpected contact will come, unexpected clarity will rise, unexpected courage will stand up inside you again. You will know because closed chapters will begin losing their grip on your emotions. The old ache will not command you the way it once did. The old fear will not sound as convincing. The old rejection will not feel like your identity anymore. Do not dismiss the small signs, my child. The first sound of rain may not look like a storm, but it is still a witness that the sky has changed. The first door may open quietly, but it is still proof that my hand is turning keys. The first conversation may seem ordinary, but it may carry the thread that leads you into a room I have already prepared. The first wave of peace may come softly, but it is still heaven touching your nervous heart and saying, "It has begun." I know you asked for confirmation because the waiting made you cautious. I know disappointment taught you to examine every sign before allowing hope to breathe. I do not shame you for that. I held you when hope felt dangerous. I carried you when expectation felt costly. But now I am teaching your spirit to recognize the difference between emotional impulse and appointed movement. This is not a frantic stirring. This is not pressure. This is not striving dressed as opportunity. This is peace with direction. This is clarity with humility. This is movement with my fingerprint upon it. So lean in and receive what your spirit already senses. The appointed time has reached your name, and once I release a thing, it does not return to the old prison of delay. The season that held you cannot hold what I am now commanding forward. The walls that contained you cannot negotiate with my word. The voices that said, "Not yet," must become silent when I say, "Now." This is the sound of a verdict entering your reality. This is the sound of heaven's timing becoming earthly evidence. And understand this, beloved, when I announce release, I do not simply open doors and leave you exposed. I do not send fulfillment without covering it. I do not bring you into what was preserved for you without surrounding it with my protection. The same heaven that called your name has also assigned movement around your promise. The announcement has gone forth, but so has the escort. The door is opening, and my protection is already moving with what belongs to you. My child, there is movement around you that your natural eyes have not yet seen. There are messengers assigned to the release. There are guards positioned around the fulfillment. There are keys in heavenly hands, instructions already spoken, pathways already marked, and gates that have been commanded to respond when what I preserved for you approaches. This is not a loose blessing wandering through uncertainty. This is not a fragile answer trying to find its way through resistance. This is a holy delivery under my authority. What I preserved for you has been surrounded. What I kept from premature hands has been covered. What I hid from envy, confusion, fear, and delay tactics is not now being released without protection. My angels have been briefed concerning what carries your name. They are not moving with hesitation. They are not asking darkness for permission. They are not waiting for old patterns to approve what I have commanded. They move because I have spoken, and when I speak, heaven responds with order. Beloved, the promise is too holy to be interrupted by the jealousy of others. It is too sacred to be canceled by confusion. It is too appointed to be delayed by fear. It is too covered to be stolen by the same cycles that once exhausted you. I know the places where anxiety still whispers, "What if something goes wrong again?" I know the memories that try to rise when hope begins to breathe. I know how disappointment trained your heart to brace for loss even when blessing is approaching. But hear me now. This fulfillment is not coming to torment your nervous system. It is not coming to test your anxiety. It is coming to confirm my faithfulness. There are scrolls being opened over what I wrote before you understood the process. There are gates responding to decrees that were issued beyond your sight. There are keys turning in doors that resisted human strength but cannot resist my timing. There are paths clearing where the ground once felt crowded with obstacles. There is assigned help moving toward you, not by accident, not by convenience, not by emotional impulse, but by my instruction. People will remember your name because I bring it to remembrance. Resources will move because I command provision. Conversations will shift because I breathe on the atmosphere. Rooms will open because I send what is needed before you arrive. You will not have to beg what belongs to you into existence. You will not have to chase in panic what I have already released in peace. You will not have to manipulate a door, force a connection, or exhaust yourself trying to hold together what only my hand can establish. If you must become frantic to keep it, it is not the way I am giving it. If you must lose your peace to secure it, pause and return to me. My gifts do not require you to abandon intimacy in order to receive them. My timing does not demand that you become someone wounded, desperate, or controlling. The escort around this promise is also an escort around your heart. I am not only protecting what is coming to you, I am protecting you as it arrives. I am calming the places that learn survival. I am loosening the reflex to over-explain, overwork, overprove, and overmanage. I am teaching you how to stand still while heaven moves, how to stay soft while doors open, how to remain close to me while increase comes near. The same angels assigned to clear the path are moving in harmony with the inner work I am doing in you. So do not return to striving when you begin to see movement. Do not grab in fear what I am placing in your hands by grace. Open your hands, beloved. Breathe again. Let the old panic fall from your shoulders. What I preserved for you is being escorted with my protection, and ordinary resistance cannot cancel what my authority has released. My child, do not treat this new season like the old battle. Do not step into release with the posture you used while surviving resistance. The armor that helped you endure the night does not need to become the weight you carry into morning. I know you learned how to brace. I know you learned how to push through disappointment, how to keep going when nothing around you changed, how to protect your heart from hope because hope once felt too expensive. But now I am calling you into a different posture, not frantic proving, not anxious reaching, not exhausting yourself to deserve what I have already decided to give, receiving. Keep breathing. Open your hands. Do not grab what I am placing gently into your life. Do not clutch it as though fear is stronger than my faithfulness. Do not squeeze the promise until your peace disappears. What I am releasing does not need to be controlled into safety. It comes with my covering. It comes with my timing. It comes with my breath upon it. If I preserved it through the waiting, I can sustain it in the receiving. If I protected it when you could not see it, I can protect it when it begins to appear. Beloved, the promise is not arriving because you performed perfectly. It is not coming because you never cried, never doubted, never trembled, never questioned, never felt weary. I was never waiting for you to become a machine of flawless faith before I moved. I was drawing you close. I was preparing you in intimacy. You stayed near me when your emotions were unsteady. You returned to me when fear pulled on your thoughts. You whispered my name when the room felt empty. You leaned into my presence when answers did not come quickly. That closeness mattered. That surrender mattered. That hidden turning of your heart toward me mattered more than the performance you thought I required. So stop measuring this release by the exhaustion of your effort. Stop asking, have I done enough to receive this? I am not handing you a burden disguised as a blessing. I am not giving you something that will demand the loss of your peace as proof of your worthiness. One of the first signs of this new season will be peace. Quiet peace. Settled peace. Peace that does not need to explain itself to old fear. Peace that begins to stand in places where panic used to pace. Peace that tells your heart, this is different. You do not have to survive this. You can receive this. Do not overmanage the miracle. Do not rehearse fear until your mind becomes louder than my voice. Do not sabotage the stillness because chaos feels more familiar than rest. Do not demand that the breakthrough look like the last thing you lost before you trust me with what is coming. I am allowed to bless you in a form your old season cannot recognize. I am allowed to open a door that does not carry the scent of former struggle. I am allowed to bring help without drama, provision without panic, alignment without confusion, and favor without you having to beg for a seat. There will be moments when your hand wants to reach back for control. Pause there. Return to me there. Let me teach your nervous heart that peace is not a trap. Let me teach your spirit that ease does not mean absence of purpose. Let me teach your mind that you do not have to investigate every blessing as though it came to wound you. Test the fruit, yes. Stay close to me, yes. Walk with wisdom, yes. But do not let fear become your counselor when I have given you my presence as your guide. This is receiving from intimacy, not striving from fear. This is walking with me, not running ahead of me. This is holding what I give with open hands, not clenched fists. This is trusting that the same God who carried you through the hidden preparation will carry you through visible fulfillment. And I, your Jesus, am telling you now, you will not need to become frantic to keep what my peace has delivered. But understand this, my child, the release is not only for your comfort, it will comfort you, yes. It will heal places that waited long. It will answer prayers that lived quietly in your heart. But it also carries responsibility. It carries influence. It carries generational meaning. What I am placing in your life is not merely something to enjoy, it is something to steward. The waiting trained your hands to hold it with humility. The silence taught your ear to listen. The delay purified your motives. And now, as you receive without striving, I am preparing you to carry what comes next with peace, authority, and a heart that remains close to me. And this is why, my child, the waiting did not just prepare the promise, it prepared you. I was not only arranging what would come into your hands, I was enlarging the hands that would hold it. I was not only expanding the territory ahead of you, I was expanding the capacity within you. Before I opened more around you, I had to deepen what was inside you, because increase without inner formation can become a weight that wounds the one who receives it. You asked me to change the season, and I was changing you in the season. You asked me to open the door, and I was teaching your spirit how to walk through it without needing applause to feel secure. You asked me to release the promise, and I was purifying your motives, so the promise would not become an idol. You asked me for breakthrough, and I was making you into someone who could carry breakthrough without losing tenderness, without losing humility, without losing the quiet place where you learned to hear my voice. Beloved, hiddenness was not punishment. Hiddenness was protection for your becoming. In the unseen place, I removed the need to be seen by everyone. In the quiet place, I healed the hunger to prove yourself. In the delayed place, I confronted the fear that said you had to force your own future or be forgotten. I did not hide you because I was ashamed of you. I hid you because I was forming something sacred in you, something that visibility could not be allowed to corrupt before it was rooted in intimacy. Now you can carry what once would have overwhelmed you. Now you can walk into rooms without needing the room to name your worth. Now you can receive blessing without bowing to pride. Now you can steward favor without forgetting the altar. Now you can hold increase with clean hands and a quieter heart, because the waiting taught you that I am your source before anything I give ever becomes your assignment. Hear me clearly. You are not the abandoned one. You are the prepared one. You are not the forgotten one. You are the entrusted one. You are not the rejected one. You are the refined one. You are not late. You are aligned. You are not behind. You are being brought forth at the time when your spirit has been strengthened enough to carry what your younger self only knew how to ask for. This elevation is not for display. I am not lifting you so you can prove people wrong and live chained to the memory of their rejection. I am not opening the door so pride can stand where prayer once stood. I am entrusting you with something sacred. Steward it with peace. Steward it with humility. Steward it with reverence. Let your yes remain clean. Let your heart remain close. Let the blessing make you more generous, not more guarded, more obedient, not more impressed with yourself, more anchored in me, not more dependent on the attention of people. And understand this, my child. What I am opening is not only about you. Your obedience is connected to more than your own relief. There are family patterns that will be interrupted because you chose to heal instead of harden. There are future decisions that will be made with wisdom because the waiting trained your discernment. There is spiritual confidence rising in you that will speak to people who thought delay meant defeat. There are others connected to your obedience who will find courage because you crossed over with clean hands and a surrendered heart. The promise will touch places you have not calculated. It will affect conversations you have not planned. It will shift what your family thought was possible. It will change how you make decisions, how you trust my voice, how you respond to pressure, and how you carry authority without becoming harsh. This is legacy, beloved, not noise, not performance, not temporary excitement. Legacy, the kind that begins in one yielded heart and travels farther than that heart can see. So, do not shrink back from the person I have formed you to become. Do not keep wearing the identity of the waiting season when I have already spoken release over you. You may remember the ache, but you are not ruled by it. You may carry the lessons, but you do not have to carry the fear. The waiting season has done its hidden work. It formed humility, it formed patience, it formed discernment, it formed authority, it formed a deeper yes. And because you have been prepared, my final instruction is coming with clarity. Step forward without fear. The old season does not have permission to name you anymore. The delay does not have authority to define you anymore. You are the one I prepared in secret, and now I am bringing you forward with peace. So step through the door, my child, without asking the old season for permission. When I begin opening what was sealed, do not stand at the threshold negotiating with fear. Do not look backward to see if rejection agrees with your release. Do not ask delay whether you are allowed to move. Do not consult the disappointment that once wounded you before obeying the voice that is healing you now. The door is not opening because the old season approved you. The door is opening because I commanded it. When favor arrives, do not shrink. When answered prayer begins to take shape, do not apologize for it. When I place your name in rooms you did not force open, walk with humility, but do not walk with shame. There is a difference between pride and holy confidence. Pride says, I did this. Holy confidence says, my Father has spoken, and I will not dishonor his timing by pretending I am still bound. You do not need to make yourself small to prove you are grateful. You do not need to hide the testimony to keep others comfortable. Carry it softly, carry it reverently, but carry it. The old season cannot define the new one. Rejection cannot name you. Delay cannot own you. Disappointment cannot interpret what I am doing now. What broke your heart does not have authority to explain the door I am opening. What abandoned you does not get to decide whether you are worthy to enter. What made you cautious does not get to become the ruler of your obedience. I know what happened. I know what it cost. I know the places where your spirit learned to hesitate. But I am not bringing you forward so you can keep asking pain to translate my promise. Move when I give instruction. Pause when I say pause. Speak when I open your mouth. Wait when I cover you in stillness. Expect confirmation, but do not demand endless signs because fear wants to delay obedience. Guard your peace. Stay humble. Remain prayerful. Keep your ear close to my heart. Let wisdom walk with expectation. Let discernment walk with courage. Let gratitude walk with authority. This is not reckless movement. This is surrendered movement. This is not running ahead of me. This is stepping with me. And if your spirit agrees with what I am speaking, write this as a declaration of alignment. I step into God's appointed release. Not as performance, not as pressure, but as agreement. Let your own words witness that you are no longer asking the old prison to approve the open door. Beloved, I am gathering every part of this message now into one final declaration over you. Release is here. Protection is moving. Peace is rising. Timing has reached your name. The season that held you has lost its authority, and the God who prepared you in secret is bringing you forward in strength. Beloved, receive this final declaration over the ending of your waiting season. I speak over the places where confusion tried to settle, and I command clarity to rise. I speak over the places where disappointment tried to harden you, and I release my peace like oil over every tender place. I speak over the questions that circled your mind in the night, over the prayers you whispered when no one heard, over the ache of delay that sat quietly in your chest, and I declare by my appointed authority, the waiting is not being explained anymore. It is being ended. My child, what I preserved for you is now moving toward you, and what I prepared in you is ready to carry it. The timing is not loose. The release is not random. The door is not opening by accident. My hand has turned the page, and the chapter that once felt unfinished has now received my command to shift. What was hidden is coming forth with order. What was delayed is entering manifestation. What was protected from premature exposure is now being escorted into your life with the seal of my peace upon it. No counterfeit will interrupt what I have assigned. No distraction will pull you away from what I am bringing. No fear will become the voice you obey. No envy will cancel what my favor has covered. No premature pressure will force you to carry what I am releasing before the moment I have appointed. I place a boundary of protection around your mind, around your heart, around your obedience, around the promise, around the people connected to the promise, and around the path your feet are about to walk. What belongs to you, by my authority, will not be stolen by ordinary resistance. So open your heart now. Release the ache of delay. Release the need to understand every hidden detail before you trust me. Release the disappointment that made you suspicious of good news. Release the fear that says if you hope again, you will be wounded again. I am not asking you to control the ending of this season. I am asking you to receive it. I am not asking you to explain how every piece will come together. I am asking you to rest in the one who held every piece before you ever saw the picture. Let peace settle over you now. Let your breathing slow. Let your spirit agree with heaven. Let the old heaviness lose its grip. The page has turned. The door has opened. The announcement has been made. You are not standing outside what I prepared as though you are unworthy to enter. You belong inside the promise I preserved. You belong inside the peace I purchased. You belong inside the timing I appointed. And now, if this word bears witness in your spirit, receive it with faith and surrender. Share this message with someone who has been waiting for confirmation. Subscribe for more God-centered messages that strengthen your heart and bring your focus back to me. Leave your prayer request in the comments so others can stand with you in agreement. And write these words as your declaration of faith. Heaven announced my waiting is ending. Amen.